tonight.
I gotcha. No worries.
Catered Chaos. We just got done watching episodes 1, 2, and 3 of From. Long day's journey into night, the way things are now, and choosing day. All right, so now we're going to be going through. This is our first episode of Solving From.
Yes.
Essentially, we're going to be combining our brains together to see if we can start to figure some things out as we're going along our From journey. 3 seasons are out currently right now at the time of this recording.
Yes.
So we'll go through the first 3 seasons, and then when season 4 comes out, since that'll probably be like episode to episode for us, we'll probably just be like, okay, this is what we thought then. Now here's what we think now.
Yeah.
When does season 4 come out? This fall?
Next year?
It for sure comes out next year.
Next year. Okay.
The first projection that I saw from it was January of next year. But it might be by spring or maybe about like this time next year. Okay. I think the last season ended in December of last year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like November, December of last year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Mama Susan waved and said hi.
Hi, Mama Susan.
So yeah, here we go. How'd y'all feel about the episode so far? And what are some things that you feel like we've learned, and some things that you feel like you still got questions on? I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Do you want to break it? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no,
Do you want to break it down with the categories and start with what we know?
Yeah. I think that's good. So we have 3 categories that we're going through for the Solving From segment. Things we know, things we have questions about, and then theories. So to separate the last 2, things you have questions about is more like something that you looked at but you don't know why it works that way.
Gotcha.
It's just like, okay, the show has told me that this is how things work, but why does it, like, what are they trying to tell me through this thing?
Yeah.
And then theories are just like, okay, now you're taking it, you're running with it, like you're trying to answer the question yourselves.
Got you.
So I think those are the 3 best categories to look at this from, because as it goes on, it'll get, some other things are just gonna happen that, like, I know y'all are gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I think for sure you'll have it in the next batch that we watch, but for sure by like episode 8 or 9, I can't remember where it happens in the storyline, y'all are just gonna be like, nah, this is a wholly different situation. But yeah, what are some things that you guys that you noticed are for sure locked in things that we know about the town so far?
Okay.
Oh, also, they don't give it a name, but the fandom calls it Fromville.
Fromville.
Yeah.
Okay.
The little town that they're in.
Oh, the town there is.
Yeah, that's what the fandom calls it. They also start giving the monsters nicknames eventually, but they don't have like official names.
That means that there's more than one type of monster. Is
All
what I'm
right.
hearing.
So things that we know. 1, the town has.
Well, they have different appearances. Is what. Like if you've noticed, like the very first one that you saw was the grandma. But there are other like individual ones that just look different, like the teenage boy that Julie saw.
The smiley ones.
Okay, so things that we know. 1, the town Fromville, if we're going based off of the fandom, has a curfew.
Yep.
They gotta make sure that they're in their houses, doors, when doors locked, windows sealed and covered
in the talisman.
In the talisman. So if you have those, they can't get in nor be invited in. Know that when it starts to get dark, you gotta lock up everything, making sure everybody's to where they need to be. And
They have. Go ahead.
I was just saying that. No, you can go.
They have a law system. So, like we just saw with Frank, you break the rules.
You go into the box.
You go into the box. This is the first time it was enacted, but like they said, you have to uphold the laws for the town's safety. You don't follow through, whatever.
Yeah.
So you got the punishment system.
We know that there's two groups: the town people, the colony
The
people.
colony people,
Yeah.
yes. You got the town, you got the colony. Let's see. Oh, we know that everyone is unable to leave. The road just goes into a circle. Nobody can leave. People can come in, but they can't get out.
Yeah.
And they constantly keep seeing the tree on the road.
Yes, everyone has seen the trees and the crows.
Yep, trees and the crows.
And then they also, I guess this is a freebie for you because they already suggested it, but they didn't go too deep on it yet. But there's the suggestion that everybody comes in from different places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So everyone's basically like driving from different places, but for some reason, everyone who gets there are from different states.
Yeah.
There's New York, there's Boston, and you have people from all over. So somehow that road leads them to that same destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're stuck in a loop. And yeah, so let's see. We know that there are monsters feeding on the town at night.
This is true. There are monsters.
We don't know what they are, but we
Yeah.
know that there's something coming for the town at night.
Yep.
And there's a gang of them.
Yeah, and there's several of them.
Heck yeah.
They tend to smile.
change voices,
Yeah, change voices.
try to trick you.
Oh, also, they take all of your organs.
They also walk. They
Never run. Yeah.
Never run.
They take all your organs, walk, never run, smiling. Let's see.
Yeah. You also got to see a litany of characters that are all up in the town.
Yes.
You got Sheriff Boyd.
Sheriff
Stevens.
Boyd. Yep. You know that Boyd is the sheriff. Christy is the EMT/doctor.
Ellis is the son.
Victor has been there the longest.
Victor has been there the longest. Yes. Victor has been there the longest. And Kenny is the deputy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
You also have Father
Cotry.
Yeah. So they are the staples of the town, of the community.
Yeah, they're pretty much the ones that keep the town running. And then I would say Kenny's mom kind of helps with that because she runs
The restaurant.
diner.
Yeah.
So I would say that she's important to the town, just not as much as like Boyd, Father Cotry, and Donna. I think those three are like the three pillars.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so we know those are some of the things that we know. Anything else that we know for sure?
I want to say that technology doesn't work. Well, like phones. We know the cell phones don't work.
Oh yeah, technology doesn't work there. Did we see them use any tech?
Well, technology works because we see the diner radio go off, or the jukebox, or whatever it is. That goes off.
Oh yeah, we know the jukebox goes
No
off.
cell
lights
service then?
Yeah, they do specifically say that there's no cell service.
Got you.
So I was trying to think of whether
What
or
is
not it was just like, is it technology or is it service? But they specifically said the cell service
Gotcha.
doesn't work out
There's
there.
no cell service. And the jukebox always comes on after sundown. Let's see. We know that they get chickens and cows food that they eat, that they can eat. That's being supplied to them.
But we don't know.
That would be a question.
I was about to say that's an interesting idea. Do you think that it's supplied to them, or that the animals just?
That's gonna be part of my theory. So
Okay,
let's
okay.
Are
get
we
through
going
some
to
of
our
the
next?
Let's get through. Well, I was trying to think of some of the other things that we know.
Ethan is seeing
Ghost.
He's seeing something. I
Ethan
can't-
is special.
Well, he's seeing a being. Like,
Mhm.
he sees someone that's
He sees a
about
boy
his
in
age.
white.
Boy in white,
Mhm.
his age.
And I know because when we were watching the episodes, y'all were theorizing whether or not what's it called? Whether or not that was Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
who y'all are theorizing that like is a child that Jim and Tabitha lost.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what y'all settled on.
Yeah.
But then it came in, I think, in the last episode that Victor knows who Ethan's
Exactly.
talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I was
Yeah.
like, that theory
That's
gone.
That's
Yeah.
my second
So-
theory.
but I think that does, like, it inadvertently confirms that child is out there. And you see him in the daytime, so we've seen him in the daytime, so he has to be something,
Important.
Important.
yeah, either important or set apart from the monsters that come out at night.
Yeah.
Okay. So last thing that I know for certain,
Mhm.
Sarah is cray cray.
Oh, all caps.
That's
bro.
something that we know for certain. Sarah has voices talking to her, telling her to kill people. We know that for certain.
Yeah. And then her brother Nathan is like piecing it together. Also that Sarah both killed somebody and
Left the door
let
open.
the monsters in
Yeah.
that ended up
And
killing.
got more people killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christy's assistant, who I can't remember off the top of my head, I can't remember her name. And
I
then
don't think they
Kenny's
said
dad.
her. I think they said her name like a few times, but
Yeah,
I
I
can't
can't
remember
remember.
what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So I guess now we can go on to our next section. If those are all the things that we know.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
questions. All right.
So these are things that you question as to like what's going on, how it works, or like things that you want to keep note of, I guess.
Yeah. What's the question you have, JT?
I think the one question I have is, I know Jay came across that little area that he left the door open.
Oh, that
to.
cellar.
That cellar, and I'm like,
What's the cellar? What's in the cellar?
or is that connected to something that maybe leads with the barn, or
I got
like,
you.
because we haven't seen the barn, we don't know what it looks like.
Mhm.
Maybe, just maybe, that might
Yeah. What's the
be-
cellar? That's a good question.
what's the cellar.
Yeah. Because he did see something in there that like just as quickly disappeared.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
Jank said, "Oh, thanks for releasing me." Basically.
Yeah, right. That's
Thanks
for
for
opening that
losing me,
door.
big dog, dumbass.
Okay, I don't think this one is one of my questions anymore. Let's see.
A question that I had when I was this far in is just like how do the talismans work?
That's
Because,
literally my
yeah.
question.
Um,
Like, who freaking thought of it?
Where did it
Where did it come from?
mhm.
I'm kind of
Because-
thinking. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I found that one specifically interesting because Donna points out when she's explaining to Tabitha in episode 2 that there was a time before where people would just hide and have to like try and fend for themselves at night.
Yep.
Which means that they didn't always have the talisman. In my head, is what it told me that
Mhm.
they
They
just
didn't
didn't
always
always have the talisman.
So they had to fight for their life
Mm-hmm.
at night. Now, I'm very interested if we see a flashback like that or something. Because so far we've seen them like go after you, but we really don't see how fighting. We saw a gunshot. That did nothing.
Yeah, they walked that mess off.
They walked it off like it was nothing. And
Mhm.
then this time around, you gotta say how you fend for yourself to see the next day.
Mhm.
That is the question. Because you either gotta at least train or something of that. If someone had to have known, maybe like do like a little combat thing. But just seeing how that goes for what to do to evade them or something like that.
Yeah.
If you do see them, because if you're running, they can't like run after you, but they'll walk you down. So
Yeah.
Why did Sarah kill Toby? That's what I want to know. Like,
Yeah.
like the real question as to why.
What are the voices telling Sarah?
What are voices telling Sarah? Let's see. I had a question here, but that got answered.
I'm just ready for the theory.
Okay. Another question. Who is Thomas?
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question too.
Yeah, why
'Cause
did
Tabitha
Tabitha
said Thomas?
yeah, say Thomas.
So it could have been probably miscarriage or something, or maybe died at a young age or something.
No. I don't know.
No, I'm just
That's
saying.
yeah.
It's a good question.
Let's see. I'm trying to get the questions. What is beyond the tree that's fallen? That's what I want to know. Because at some point, everyone says that they were driving on the road, that they came upon the road with the fallen tree, and that they turned around and they ended up at the town.
Yeah.
So, has anyone gone beyond the tree? What's beyond the
Has
tree?
anybody pushed the tree out the way?
Yeah, what's beyond the
that-
fallen tree?
And that could probably explain the crows.
Yeah, that's the yellow omen. 'Cause I definitely think that it's a really interesting aspect that all of them end up at the tree. They all see the crows.
Yep.
And then when they try to turn around and stuff, that's when things
That's what things,
go
yeah.
crazy.
Get crazy.
Get crazy.
I want to know, like, who Victor is. I guess is my question.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
was one of my
who is
questions.
Victor?
Who
And
is Victor? Yeah.
He's the longest one there.
What is he up to?
Yeah.
What is he trying
He
to
loves
find
his
out?
can of peaches.
He loves his can of peaches.
Yeah.
Who is Victor and why does he love peaches?
Peaches are good.
Yeah.
Good fruit.
Victor?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And why does he keep to himself? Because you see that he's going off and doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those were questions that I had too. How long has Victor been there? And then why is he doing stuff like absent of everybody else? You know?
Why does the jukebox turn on by itself?
Yeah.
That was one of my questions too. I was like, what gives?
And then where do the cows and chickens come from? Like, where do the animals come from? Who's providing these animals? The monsters providing them with food to fatten them up for later? Like, what's going on?
Heck yeah.
Talking about we gotta keep them nice and juicy. Like, what? Where are these animals coming from?
Yeah, that's that Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
And I guess why do the monsters take the form of someone that they either lost or passed away? Like, why do they look human and not like straight monsters?
Because you can see that they transform.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, why do they take like a human form? Is a pretty good one.
And then the major thing is, why are they stuck there?
Yeah.
Why are they stuck in Fromville? Those are all the questions that I can think of as of right now.
Those are good questions.
Good questions.
I'm definitely interested to see like how it goes on, like what things stay important to y'all, and then what things like get answered is just like how do you change stuff.
Oh, I guess one of my last questions is why do Boyd and Ellis not get along?
Oh yeah, that's a fair one.
Yeah, that's a solid question.
All right, so now try to give yourself some answers. What are some theories that you think, and how do you think they're gonna pan out as we go through the rest of the season?
Okay, well, now we're getting to the theories.
Yeah.
First things first, I want to address what these monsters actually might be.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that they could be. One, I'm thinking that they are like an evil entity. You know, that's always a go-to for a lot of TV shows, a lot of films. They could be shapeshifters, because that's been in a lot of lore before, where shapeshifters take on people that they love and people who have passed away. If they're missing like organs that could be vital to their survival or whatever. So they have to kill in order to take that. Or is the town simply cursed? Because that could be a thing too. Like it's a dead zone, but everyone ends up there for some reason or another.
Yeah.
And it seems like everyone ended up there for different reasons. Donna and her sister were on a hunting trip, so they were just out for fun. Kenny and his mom were out looking for his dad who had dementia.
Yep.
The family was in the RV, again, out for some fun.
Yeah.
So it's various reasons. It's not like we can stick to one, like, mental health thing.
Yeah.
Or, like, any form of, like, grief or anything like that. Because I was thinking maybe everyone ended up there because they were grieving somebody.
That's literally what I was thinking too.
Right, but that doesn't really make sense because, if Donna and her sister were out there hunting, unless there's more to the story.
They grieving the animals.
that they killed? Yeah. I don't know. So what were the monsters? What's their sole purpose for feeding off these folks? It might be just for the thrill of the hunt, because they said they like to hunt and toy with their food. So I don't know. I think there might be an evil entity, monsters like shapeshifters. It might be a curse, or they might be evil fairies.
Yeah.
Because fairies like to F with people. And lore, they like to say, "Oh, you entered a fairy circle. You didn't know you dropped here, but here you are. I get to F with you now." So I don't know. It could be something like that. Yeah, so that's a theory that I have.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel my theories are that. Okay. WandaVision. Scarlet Witch, come on out. Okay. I'm just totally kidding. But I think one of my theories are that Victor knows how to get everybody out.
Okay.
Because Victor's been trying to figure something out.
Yeah. And then I feel like the boy that I'm just going to call Thomas for now because he doesn't have a name right now.
What is it called? The fandom just calls him Boy in White.
Boy in White.
Boy in White.
Yeah.
I feel like
I told you this fandom just be giving things nicknames.
Okay. The Boy in White was the one that gave them the talisman. I feel like in my mind, I feel like it played out as if Victor's the only one that has seen this boy, and one day the boy is throwing rocks at Victor. I'm totally just in my brain, I'm just he sees talismans, and then he's just like, bro, look at these talismans, and then he just starts passing them out around town, and then okay, this is protecting us.
Oh, I also did forget. Because of how he said it, you also know that Victor has seen the Boy in White, but the Boy in White stopped appearing to him.
Yes. So I'm thinking,
at some point.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe the Boy in White only shows up to children.
That's true.
That's what I'm thinking.
But who knows how long Victor was there? Because he carries a little lunchbox.
But there was no other child besides Megan.
No, I mean Victor has been there since he was a child.
Yeah. Okay, so theory that's racing through my mind right now is that there was no other child in town besides Megan.
Yeah.
We don't see any other little kids. Everyone else
Little kids, you're right.
Yeah, we don't see any little kids. We see teenagers and we see adults,
Yeah.
but no children.
Yeah.
The only other child was Megan.
Yeah.
So maybe the thing went after Megan because she saw the little boy too, the little boy in white as well.
Yeah.
And maybe the little boy in white is separate from the monsters that's eating folks, If we're going with your theory that the boy in white is the one giving the townspeople the food, the animals and the protection, then maybe he was trying to tell Megan something, and that's why the things got to her. Right. But unfortunately,
they targeted her.
They targeted her, exactly. Because you see, we don't see anybody jumping up on any other windows. They only did that to Megan.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Homegirl, Fatima, was in that art room. There could be a ledge up there, but when she opened that window, there was nothing
There's
there.
nothing there.
They were just looking out into the skyline.
And
know?
that makes that actually, I can see that tracking, because if the dad, Frank, has not hasn't put nails in that window, they could have tricked Megan anytime they wanted to.
Anytime they wanted to.
We on to something.
Anytime they wanted to, but for some reason that night they chose to go after Megan and Lauren. So
because I guess also because they had suggested that Frank was supposed to be there, so it might have been a thing that Frank was either always around or just around enough to where they would have stopped him. But that night specifically, they knew to go after. I think it's also interesting that they only sent one.
That's the thing.
Megan.
They only sent one after her, but everywhere else shows groups. You know, we don't see just one. We saw the two that showed up at the clinic. We saw the cluster of them at the RV, the cluster of them around the box, a cluster of them at the colony house. But we only saw one at Megan and Lauren's house.
Yeah.
And that one appeared as somebody close to the family.
As her
the
grandmother.
other ones did not appear as aside from Julie's own with the boy.
With the boy, yeah.
But other than that,
Exactly. So I'm thinking that the boy in white is trying to tell them something. And maybe that's why Victor is trying to figure out how to get back. He said the trees move.
Yeah, the trees are moving.
I guess he might be thinking like the place is moving.
Probably.
That's why people are coming in from different areas.
Interesting
like
theory.
the place.
Because
moves.
where is the town? Where is this located in the map of America, if it's even in America?
Right.
Which it probably is because they come from different states.
Because you get different state plates in, so it's like, is the town moving? Are they moving? Like, what's going on? So, yeah, I think that's an interesting question. What did Megan know?
And I'm gonna throw y'all an interesting one, an interesting way to look at the information too. So when the grandma monster appeared to Megan, she says that she doesn't look like her grandma, and then her mom reemphasizes that it's not. But as the grandma talks to her, it's like she convinces her to let her in.
That's true.
So keep in mind, it might not be a thing that it takes the appearance of somebody that you love. It might be a thing that's just the longer you talk to them, the more they convince them they can.
Yeah.
They
so
might
it
just
might
be
not be
convincing them.
Like a shapeshift thing of people that you know. It might be a thing where it's like they get in your head.
That's true. That's true.
Which also might mean that Sarah might have had more encounters with them, and that's why she might be the way that she is.
She might be crazy like
she
that.
Might actually
might be hearing
had a mental break.
Yeah, and keeps hearing voices telling her to do stuff too.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it too, Sarah did all that stuff at night. So she left the door open, but also remember she goes home.
Yeah.
So she would have had to walk out there while they were outside.
Bro.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I was like, how the heck did she get home?
That is a really good point. How did she get home without running into them?
Well, it might be that she did, but they've already
got
messed
to
her so much
that they're like, yeah, you're not worth it.
You're not worth it.
You're not worth it. We
or
can
that
use
she's just
you.
compliant because like she was hearing somebody be like, okay, well, how do you do it? And she made it look like a monster and then left the door open for her.
Yeah.
So it might be a thing where it's just like, oh, we've cooked your brain enough. You just do what we tell you to do. We don't got to do nothing.
Wreaking havoc on the town, man.
And that could be a thing that they wanted to do to Megan, but the mom was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she was wise enough to know the differences of what it was saying to Megan and what they were trying to convince her of.
I was wondering why the mom was standing in that doorway for so dang long.
I was like, why don't you go up in
snatch
there?
your child and close that door.
Exactly.
She was standing there for the longest time.
Because it might be a thing that, like, those sudden movements, if they're in your head, it might have just made her open the window faster.
That's true.
So
that's true.
That is an interesting way to look at. I'm glad that y'all looked at it in the way of like them shape shifting to where it was a more physical thing. When I first watched these episodes, I was just like, okay, so is it like are they controlling their minds somehow? And that's why like Jade saw something, or was it really there and then now he's just not seeing whatever else is there?
What it was.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of interesting ways to look at stuff as they introduce more and more.
They might even break Jade down, because Jade is, I mean, he saw Toby's body now, but like,
he saw Toby's body now.
I feel like he's still like in so much disbelief that they could use that and be like, oh, this is all fake. Like, what if they take on the image of Toby next?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody is on edge. Kenny is on edge after losing his dad like that and seeing Megan and Lauren's bodies. Jay is on edge because we don't know what his situation was before he arrived. He was high as a kite, then knocked out. You know, he might have some other issues going on that could break him faster. Sarah, we already know she far gone. She need to go.
Sarah need to go.
Sarah needs to go. She need to go. Poor Frank not there anymore. We just seen him get got, you know? Those creatures came, they were just like, oh, look. They put a little thing in a box for us. Grab, snatch, get dragged off into the darkness. And I think Julie's going to be a problem. That teenage angst.
The teen angst is real with her right
Lord
now.
Jesus.
I feel,
she got some issues.
I feel like she just got a little crush on Ellis, and that's why she wanted to stay.
She might have a crush on Ellis. She might have an issue with her parents, but like you said, she's a teenager. We don't know what's going on with her. But at the same time, I feel like she is more annoyed than usual with her brother, you know?
Okay.
With Ethan. She was trying to make him feel scared. And then even afterwards, she was still trying to make him feel scared.
Yeah.
The only instance we saw her actually being nice to him was he was laying.
Was
after the fact. He was laying down, but he wasn't even paying attention to her. After that, she just goes off and do her own thing, and then she yells at him, be like, you know, I'm supposed to be watching you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you're in the house. He's outside. You saw him outside. What you mean? So, I don't know. I feel like Julie has something about her. The way the mom mentioned Thomas, I don't know. Something about Julie. There's something about Julie.
Good stuff. Well, that'll do it for our first.
I didn't get my theory.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know.
Oh,
I didn't
snap,
know you had a
JT.
different
My theory is just kind of like a Neverland thing, where basically with Victor being there by being the main one, we don't know how long this place has been, to the point where almost like we didn't land on Plymouth Rock landed on us. Maybe that rock was there by the time he encountered it, or when this boy in white encountered it. Maybe, just maybe, it might be they're stuck in the loop. So it's basically, you can't get out, you keep seeing the tree with the crows, and it leads you to this town. We see the cars and everything. But I think it's like a never-ending loop where I don't think they'll age, but more to the point that they'll go on with their normal life and so on, where it could be in their head, but maybe not. I'm just at a point now that I know that they're in a never-ending loop.
Yeah. Well, you do know at the very least, that is a loop of once you're in the town, that mess will bring you right back to the beginning. And
it's all a simulation.
And also just the understanding
like
that
Monopoly board, you just go
in circles. Yeah.
Truman Show.
So maybe Victor is basically trying to find a way to get out, but with him getting older, maybe he's not thinking of it accordingly, but he does know probably knows how to get them out, just trying to figure out how to lead that way to it. And I also saw that Ethan, he was walking on the fallen tree and then saw the crows, but we really haven't seen anybody else like go past that point, because I don't know, maybe that could lead to something, maybe on that other side, because we never seen anybody go past that. But I'm trying to think. there was something else.
Do they find the tree after they arrive at the town again? Because we see them going back in circles, but they never get back to that point.
Get back to the tree.
The tree.
You see back to the tree. You see the tree the first time.
Yeah.
You leave, and then once you hit town, you just go back.
And you never see the tree again.
Yeah.
Yep.
See the crows though. The crows follow you no matter what, but you don't see the tree again.
I don't think they see those set of crows either. I think everybody sees the crows around the tree, and they remember them because, like, you saw a tree in the road, and then a murder of crows showed up out of nowhere.
Right.
I'll remember that to the day I die.
Right, circling around a whole bunch of nothing. It's just like, what are they circling?
They don't.
Ooh, what if the crows are circling the town?
Probably like overseas.
Like, this is where you're actually supposed to get out from? Or...
No, like the actual, like where they are. What if they are circling the town?
They're the surveillance.
They're the surveillance. They could be the surveillance.
They're just circling the
fresh
town.
meat.
Or
because that's all it is. Just a whole bunch of dead bodies around.
That's
and
true.
People.
And also where Jade found that looked like a underground cellar.
Oh, that cellar. He opened something.
Yeah,
he
the cellar.
And it looked like there was like a symbol.
We about to get a kingdom situation
so,
where they about to come in through the walls.
They about to
in the
run in
walls.
like a flood. That's gonna be insane.
Dang it! I had a thought and lost it. Crap. But it'll come back.
Okay.
Well, I will say there was one thing that Autumn had brought up earlier that isn't a spoiler, but I don't know that it works that way, so I guess it'll be good to talk about it. You had mentioned if group sets of people come in when other people die.
Yes.
But it doesn't match up. It doesn't match up, but I think that that's an interesting thing to keep in mind going forward.
Yeah, because 5 people died and 5 people were left. You know?
The family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It was 4.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess that is
5 games.
Jade and then Toby, they killed him off, so then he's still left with 5 people there.
You left with 5 people.
Yeah. I guess because I have seen people like bring that up. The reason why I don't particularly it's something that I keep in my head, but I can't focus on it too much because it's just like Lauren and Megan died first, and so then we got Jade and Toby and the family of 4. So it's like it maths out over that night or over that next day or whatever. But it doesn't. It's weird timeline wise. Like it makes sense because the numbers are the same.
What? Okay, this is gonna be something crazy. All right. Well, I don't know. It's gonna be something crazy. Okay. But okay, so what if the family of 4 were never supposed to show up? You know what I mean? Like, what if Lauren and Megan died, and so it was supposed to be Toby and Jade that were next up on the list, but then the family ended up coming, and so the monsters or whatever is happening, they're all like, well, now we gotta kill like 4 people. Unalive, sorry. And then
no, you can say kill. It's the S word, the seppuku word. That
got you.
Don't like.
And so they have to align it. So it's like, okay, 5 people are now here. Now we got to kill off 5 people, and then that's where they start talking to Sarah, like, "Hey, you have to do this."
Oh, true. Because
everyone
was saying that never happened before.
Yeah,
that there's always been either one vehicle with a certain number of people, and then never 2 vehicles at once with multiple people.
But Victor does say that it has happened before, but that it usually means something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Too. So that, and then he's also checking the trees to see if they moved or whatever he says. So it's just like, okay, so when it does happen, what changes around? You know what? You might have filled in some blanks.
I had to do what I
might
do.
have filled in some blanks because that timing does
Yeah.
make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
For Sarah, because she does say that that's like the only way that everybody can leave too, is what the voices are telling her.
Yeah.
So if they do have to balance it out, that would make sense as to why she had to do the first one. I guess the only then question is, why did they make her kill Toby if she could have just opened the door?
True. Because
the nurse would have been the only person that would have known like everything that was going on, unless they did it because they would have attacked Toby first since he was upstairs, and they did it to silence him before. But then the nurse ends up walking upstairs and seeing Toby dead anyway. So it's like,
yeah. Well,
I think Sarah just has a couple of extra screws.
Yeah.
And she just compulsively killed him.
To think they're probably talking to her, but actually,
like they could have just been like, oh, we gotta kill this guy.
Yeah, because she was just like, oh no, it's not your fault. Shank.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta cover up my mistake now. What should I do? Voices start talking to her. Oh, okay. All right then. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
She's probably thinking she's working for them, but they're just manipulating her too. That they could take her out in the later run.
And she said that she was talking about like a whole bunch of shards of glass and how like she was trying to put the pieces together and they didn't fit, and how like she had no other choice but to leave the door open.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Well, that'll do it for our first episode of Solving From. Again, we're doing this in batches of 3 episodes.
Yes.
So these guys only get to see what they've seen so far. We're just giving our theories as the show goes on and trying to work it out. By the time that we get to season 4 and we're caught up and everything is just like one episode by episode, these theories and stuff, that mess is gonna hit different when you have to do it one by one.
Yeah. Yeah. No batch of 3.
So yeah, that should be fun. But thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a lot of fun getting to watch From. I'm really excited to see where you guys go on the rest of the journey.
Yeah, long overdue.
Yeah, what is it? So it'll be 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, 8, and 9. If I'm thinking of the plot points they'll cover in 4, 5, and 6, that next week is gonna be
no.
for y'all.
I think I'll probably try and watch I'll be out of town, so I think I would probably try to watch the episodes anyway when I'm gone, and then that way I'll be caught up for the next set. Since it is on our channel,
you could just watch it.
Watch episodes.
I may end up missing an episode due to work, but be able to catch the others right after.
Yeah. So. I mean, it is available because we're watching it on YouTube.
Watching it on YouTube through cateredchaos.
So y'all can always just pull it up and check out the ones that you missed.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Like we said before, if you want to check out the full and uncut episodes of their reactions to From, feel free to subscribe to the Patreon. That way you can check out those full and uncut reactions or check out the videos on YouTube. They'll be edited down highlights. Till that time comes, though, it's been Trey.
JT Wolf.
Autumn.
Chia.
Yeah, we'll catch you in the next one with some more Catered Chaos. Peace.
Bye.
Please.
Alrighty.